Now on CoastTV News.
Rip current risk. Dangerous surf conditions across the coast as Hurricane Erin stirs up. Milford meeting. Concerned community members speak out about symbols in schools. Bike safety in Ocean City. How officials are looking to keep cyclists off the busy road.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
High winds and big waves. Good evening, I'm Emma Aiken. Welcome to CoastTV News at 11. We begin tonight with the local effects of Hurricane Erin. In Ocean City, the surface changed quickly today as Hurricane Erin stirs up dangerous conditions along the coast. The Beach Patrol is working with town leaders and emergency services to monitor conditions as the storm passes. While the worst is still ahead, Lieutenant Michael Stone says they are already feeling the effects.
Pretty nice morning. The ocean was calm. And it's 2 o'clock now, and it's totally different. So, the winds picked up. It's started to rain some, and the ocean's gotten rough. So we're in this just the watch, wait, and see mode.
And due to high winds and heavy surf conditions, the Rehoboth Beach Patrol prohibited swimming today under a red flag advisory. The heavy surf and increased rip tides will likely continue to increase through Thursday. According to the town of Dewey Beach, they are also closing the waters to beachgoers. And we are now taking a live look into Ocean City. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us now with a look at our weather. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Emma. What we're looking at right now, we're concerned about the storm surge already, and it's really Thursday, a little bit earlier in the evening. Well, our previous newscast, I was concerned about the significant amount of the wind that our models were picking up on. Well, that's been exacerbated a little bit more, so we keep a close eye on what's happening with the winds. Now, we're at 72 degrees right now with scattered showers expected for us throughout Ocean City. But here's what the winds are right now. We're at 34 mile per hour gusts, Indian River Inlet, 26 to 27 to 28 mile per hour wind gusts in these other locations. Here's what we have right now. Light precipitation for the most part. All this is developing, but we have a concern for rip currents staying in effect for all the beaches along the coast for us in Sussex. We also have an enhanced beach statement, watching out for dangerous rip currents and high winds for us actually in Ocean City. We have wind gusts up to 25 to 30 miles per hour along the shore. And we are concerned in the fact that, hey, when you take a look at where Erin's located, way out here, we're still about over 1,000 miles away, but it's starting to have a reverberating effect on the rest of us. Now, we're going to go into more detail of just how high this wind and this storm surge is going to be. But until then, back to you, Emma.
Thank you, Paul. Governor Matt Meyer has lifted Delaware's drought watch nearly 10 months after it was first declared due to prolonged low precipitation in 2024. The decision follows a recommendation from the Water Supply Coordinating Council, which confirmed that rainfall, groundwater, and stream flow levels have returned to normal. Officials say recent months brought above average rainfall, especially in July, helping recharge water supplies and improve conditions for agriculture. While the drought is over, state leaders continue urging Delawareans to conserve water as a long-term practice. Tonight at the school board meeting in Milford, school policy was once again a key factor in discussion. There's been an ongoing battle within the district surrounding subjects like religious and sexual expression. Tonight was no different as one board policy was debated, which states that students have the responsibility to study multiple sides of an issue. This has caused some pushback from parents and the community, and one man we spoke to believes that children should be able to express their freedoms.
Young kids have the right to voice their opinions probably more and should express their feelings more and not be held back from anything. That way in the future they're able to do and to succeed without being held back from any further implements.
Funeral services for former Delaware Governor and Congressman Mike Castle are happening this week. A visitation for Mike Castle will be held at Chandler Funeral Home in Wilmington from 5 to 8 p.m. Thursday, with overflow parking available at St. Mary Magdalene Roman Catholic Church on Sharpley Road. A funeral mass for Castle will be at St. Joseph on the Brandywine Church at 10:30 a.m. Friday. And a celebration of life will follow at the Wilmington Country Club. For more on Castle's legacy and funeral arrangements, check out CoastTV.com. Bikes may soon stay on the Ocean City Boardwalk longer. Tonight, the Ocean City Council will decide increasing the times bikes are allowed on the boardwalk. As of right now, they can ride between the hours of 2 a.m. and 11 a.m., but they're proposing to increase the hours from midnight to noon. One bike store owner in town thinks that will increase safety for people riding back home from work.
I think it's a good idea to keep the ones on scooters and bicycles out of the streets that don't get run over on the way home.
The Canal Front Park Playground in Lewis was reopened this spring with upgrades to make it more accessible and safe. Now, some parents are asking the city of Lewis for more. Siobhan Park is the Lewis parent who started a petition asking for the installation of a fence around the playground. That petition has more than 200 signatures. Park says she was disappointed when the playground upgrades didn't include a fence, noting its close proximity to the water. A mom of two, Park worries about the risk of drowning and says a fence would be an added layer of security.
In no way does a fence replace parental supervision. I think anyone who has been to the playground with several children can attest, like I said, to how quickly toddlers can be. This is not a replacement, it's an added layer of protection.
This brings us to our CoastTV poll. We want to know what's most important in a playground near water. Let's take a look. So far, 71% of you say parental supervision, with 23% saying safety barriers. We do have a comment tonight from Joe in Lewis. He says, quote, "Don't take your children to the park, don't let them outside, bubble wrap them. Or maybe get off your phone or whatever you are doing and pay attention to them. The city is not the babysitter," end quote. If you haven't voted yet, you still can at coasttv.com or on the mobile app. Dunkin' Donuts is seeking final site plan approval for a drive-through store in Milton. On your screen now is where the Dunkin' Donuts would be located at 403 Broadkill Road. The Planning and Zoning Commission is set to discuss this Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Dunkin' first made its pitch to the town in the fall of 2024, and the original plans call for over 2,800 square feet for the coffee chain restaurant. Staying in Milton, Calliope Project is asking to build an addition to the Milton Theater downtown. The plans propose the consolidation of two parcels and the construction of a 2,800 square foot addition to the existing theater building. The project also calls for an adjacent paved area for access from Front Street Extended. A public hearing about these plans will take place at the Milton Planning and Zoning Commission meeting Tuesday at 6:30. According to the City of Rehoboth, routine maintenance will take place at the Rehoboth Avenue drawbridge tomorrow, August 19th. The city says there will be openings between 10:30 and 11 a.m. Heads up Milford drivers, DelDOT will begin painting Route 1 bridges between Cedar Beach Road and Northeast Front Street on Friday. On your screen now is a map of the area. The purpose of the project is to clean and paint the structural steel and concrete. DelDOT says this work should be done this fall. Drivers can expect lane closures Monday through Friday from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Well, get your running shoes. DelDOT is hosting a 5K run and walk on the new North Millsboro bypass. The department says the 5K will be an opportunity for the community to see the new road before it opens to vehicle traffic. All proceeds raised from the event will benefit the Andrew B. McDonough Foundation. That 5K is set for Saturday, September 13th. Registration is open through DelDOT's website. The Blood Bank of Delmarva is celebrating their 5th annual Blood for a Brew campaign, calling this a critical time for the community's blood supply. All summer long, blood drives will take place at breweries and coffee shops across the region. The next upcoming blood drive is at Ocean View Brewing Company tomorrow from noon to 5 p.m. It's a dangerous problem in the U.S. and one many of you may often witness while driving. Road rage is under-controlled anger or aggressive behavior behind the wheel, and it not only impacts a driver's mental health, but can also be extremely dangerous, especially if the anger escalates to yelling, threats, or even violence. Tonight in our Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has ways to steer clear of road rage feelings.
From commuting to work to running errands, Americans spend a lot of time in their cars, and sometimes being behind the wheel can bring out a lot of different feelings.
Nothing is more stressful than being in traffic.
Psychologist Susan Alberts with Cleveland Clinic says road rage can happen when a driver is unable to regulate those emotions, and she says some drivers may think they're anonymous behind the wheel and react in a way they wouldn't normally.
we could feel in danger. And this naturally kicks off the fight or flight response, which triggers cortisol to flood throughout our body. And this can make us feel very aggressive.
To steer clear of experiencing feelings of road rage, Albert says to first check in with yourself. If you're anxious, tired, hungry, or stressed, these are all things that can impact a person's mood while driving. And make sure your car is cool. She says hot cars can trigger hot tempers.
Turn on the air conditioning, roll down the windows. This is going to help you to regulate your temperature and help you to feel calmer.
Next, give other drivers the benefit of the doubt. Albert says we often attribute their behavior to being aggressive or a personality trait, but we can't see into their world. She also says nothing triggers road rage like feeling behind or being late. So she says to make sure to give yourself extra time before leaving.
This is going to help you to feel calmer, regulate your emotions, and give you the space to buffer any kind of delays.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Albers says if another driver is being aggressive, to back off. She says this can often be difficult, but avoid triggering aggressive behavior in others by shooting them gestures, making eye contact, or changing lanes. Instead, she says to not engage with the other driver and prioritize safety. We are just getting started here on Coast TV News at 11. Coming up, diet decisions, why more states are restricting SNAP benefits from being used on certain foods. Ocean Pines theft, more than $13,000 vanishes from the Ocean Pines Clubhouse Grill, who police say did it.
Here's a look at your Bay forecast. We're looking for at least 2 days of rain for Tuesday and Wednesday, then becoming very breezy, and another big concern for Thursday. We'll talk about that in great detail in just 60 seconds. Well, Erin is becoming progressively a problem, even though far away from us. Still, the reverberal aspect or effects of it have been quite striking. And now we're going to be concerned about storm surge, which I'm going into detail in a moment. And we have a detailed article on CoastTV.com, so you can go ahead and look it up for yourself, even after I'm done with the forecast. So our gutter helmet camera, ocean view, we're at 70 degrees. We're going to stay in the low 70s with scattered showers likely for us throughout the rest of the night. Then the initial look at the winds, we're at 34 mile per hour wind gusts to Indian River Inlet, 26, 27, and 28 mile per hour wind gusts in Rehoboth, Bethany Beach, and Ocean City. So here's where we stand right now. Light precipitation in the region as a whole. We do have concern for the flood advisory for our area, but we're really more concerned about the rip currents that's staying active for us from Lewis, Dewey Beach, Ocean View down towards Fenwick Island. And then we have the same concern with beach erosion possibly for us going into the rest of the night. That's going to continue throughout the late night hours. It was supposed to stop at about 8 o'clock, but it's now continuing throughout the rest of the night. But precipitation-wise, we're relatively light thus far. Stationary boundary, helping to keep things intact. Here's what's happening with Erin at this present time. With sustained winds at 125 miles per hour, and we're down to a Category 3. We were at a Category 4 earlier this evening. Now we're starting to lose strength right now as it begins to ascend to the north. That being the case, we're expecting for it to track parallel to the East Coast and then pull away. But the folks that are in North Carolina, they've actually been ordered to evacuate along the coast there because that Category 3 is going to swing a little bit close, too close for comfort for them there. But even the outer ridges of the storm is still going to be in excess of 200 miles away from us here in Delmarva, specifically for us in Sussex County. And then as it travels out to deeper waters, it'll lose even more strength. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, particularly Thursday, we'll have dangerous swells and rip currents and swells. So listen, the impact is this: heavy rainfall in the outer bands, swells 6 to 12 feet, highest between 9 p.m. Thursday to 3 o'clock Friday. Pay attention to that timing when we're mostly asleep. Tropical storm strength winds, dangerous rip currents, coastal flooding, and beach erosion. Now, I want to get into something that I don't usually use because this model can be a little convoluted, but I want you to watch for the red and orange. Orange is 8 feet, red is 12. So we see orange, 8 feet by 6 o'clock Thursday. All right. Now watch this there. You see that? We're looking at a range of about 10 feet. Surge, Fenwick Island, south of Ocean View, Fenwick Island down towards Ocean City. That's just for Thursday, and then everything backs off after that. So That's the wave that we're talking about that we're going to be concerned with mainly on Thursday. But for tomorrow, we have scattered showers likely for us. Temperatures in the 70s with winds out of the east, still a little bit blustery regardless of that. Wednesday, we get a little bit of a break with the winds and the sunshine. We'll come back, and then we come back with very breezy conditions after that. Take a look at Thursday just as a rehash. 40-mile-per-hour winds along the coast for Ocean City, up towards Bethany Beach, and those winds are going to be pouring primarily out of the north as a result of the placement of Erin. Now, here's a look at the outer edge of Erin. I'm going to switch sides so I can show you. You see this? This is about the outer bands of Erin, about as close as it's going to get. This is the outer band, but it's so strong and so big. The girth of this storm is impressive, to say the least. Here's a look at your extended forecast. Let's watch out for those dangerous swells and rip currents, particularly for Thursday.
According to the Ocean Pines police, officers have been investigating missing funds at the Ocean Pines Clubhouse Bar and Grill for most of the summer. As Kevin Zappe shows us, the former manager Ashley Mitchell is facing felony charges for theft after $13,000 disappeared.
Bob Ciprietti is the owner of the Clubhouse Bar and Grill at the Ocean Pines Golf Club, and the hard-earned money the clubhouse received from golfers taking a break from the green disappeared. Police believe the manager responsible for handling the money stole it.
His responsibility was to deposit money in the bank as a manager slash bartender here, and it was a little light.
Light is an understatement. According to the Ocean Pines police report, over $13,000 went missing starting May 10th. Ocean Pines Police Chief Tim Robinson and his team began investigating this summer and say Ashley Mitchell failed to explain what happened to the $13,000 in missing deposits.
The investigation focused on the individual who had responsibility for the money, as it always does. And through investigative procedures, interviews, meeting with other employees, we focused on this one individual, and which culminated in charges being served on him yesterday.
Ciprietti says he was shocked to see Mitchell as the top suspect, saying this has never happened before, and still he's optimistic.
It affects, expenses and paying bills here and running a business, but we'll survive.
Ciprietti says Mitchell has since been fired. Mitchell is facing a felony theft charge.
According to Chief Robinson, Mitchell will likely be in court in September. A beloved pastor has been reunited with his family in Easton. Daniel Fuentes Espinal returned home to Easton late last week. He was released on bond from a detention center in Louisiana. Fuentes Espinal was detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement late last month. He had no criminal record but overstayed a visa by roughly 25 years. A close family friend tells us the past few weeks were heartbreaking, so it's a welcome sight to see his friend home safe and sound.
He is a pillar of our community, and he is just one of those people that so often form really the heart and soul of small, close-knit communities like Easton.
Foxwell says Fuentes Espinal is working to become a legal citizen of the United States. Foxwell says it will be an uphill battle and that the pastor has been working to resolve his immigration status for years now. Technology tools, how AI could help you find your next job. Drug details, new information about the ketamine that killed Matthew Perry and the woman who dealt it.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
A woman from Los Angeles known as the Ketamine Queen has agreed to plead guilty to charges she sold the drug that killed actor Matthew Perry. Federal prosecutors announced on Monday they had worked out a plea deal with Josephine Sangha. Investigators say she illegally sold the ketamine that killed the Friends star in October of 2023. Sangha is the fifth person to plead guilty in the case. Her plea deal comes just weeks before she was set to go on trial. Sangha's lawyer said his client is taking responsibility for her actions. She faces up to 65 years in prison when she is sentenced. A technology is changing the way we apply for jobs and the way companies hire. More companies admit to using AI tools to weed out applicants, but AI can also help job seekers create cover letters and resumes. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan breaks down the pros and cons of using AI when applying for a job.
If you're in the market for a new job, be patient. it can take a while to get hired.
It can be really difficult to get yourself seen and get yourself noticed.
Dawn Fay with recruiting firm Robert Half says it can take up to 6 months to land a new job. And Resume Builder estimates 82% of companies are now using AI to review resumes.
Many are using AI tools that are looking for keywords, key phrases, key positions that people have held.
Don't let that discourage you. Job seekers can also use AI technology to make the application process easier and faster. Faye recommends tailoring your resume and your cover letter to every job you apply for, and she says AI can help you do that. Copy the job description into the AI site and ask it to create a cover letter. You'll need to include your experience and why you want that job, but treat this as the first draft. Proofread it. And you still have to give specifics about your personal accomplishments.
What's so important when you're trying to find a job is to show those accomplishments and achievements that you've done, things that you've done that have really had a return to the organization.
Faye also recommends reaching out to the hiring managers directly to help you get your foot in the door. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Coming up in sports, a local lacrosse player had a great freshman year up in Delaware. Now he's ready to keep it rolling down in Florida. Country Call, what two world leaders discussed on the phone today.
Here's a look at your golf forecast. We're expecting it to stay cloudy. We're expecting it to stay drizzly, wet, all that other stuff. Not so good. Not so good at all.
President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin spoke on the phone today. The two presidents weren't able to reach an agreement during their recent summit in Alaska last week, but spoke on the phone for over 40 minutes today during the call. Putin thanked Trump for his hospitality during their meeting and spoke about the progress the two had made regarding Ukraine. Trump updated Putin on his meeting with Zelensky, which had taken place earlier in the day. The two agreed to continue contacts on Ukraine and are both in favor of direct talks between Russia and Ukraine. 6 more states were granted waivers from the USDA to prohibit Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program benefits, or SNAP, from being used on certain processed food and beverages. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says the assistance is meant to provide health food for low-income families and cited foods like soda and candy as, quote, products that fuel America's diabetes and chronic disease epidemics. Ivan Rodriguez breaks down the impact of these changes.
Our department has encouraged states to think differently and creatively about how to solve the many health issues facing Americans.
Earlier this month, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Colorado, and West Virginia were granted new waivers to restrict the purchase of so-called junk food with Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program benefits starting in 2026. They joined 6 other states that have already received the waivers.
U.S. taxpayers should not be paying to feed kids foods, the poorest kids in our country, with foods that are going to give them diabetes.
Of the states that have been granted waivers so far, most will restrict the use of SNAP funds on soft drinks or sodas, while at least 8 restrict candy purchases. Some also prohibit food benefits from being used on energy drinks. And in Arkansas, the purchase of fruit and vegetable drinks with less than 50% natural juice.
These restrictions, they don't solve hunger or improve health. They only limit choices for people who already face barriers.
Cavell Christie says if healthier communities is the goal, the answer isn't controlling grocery carts. She says families do want healthier foods, but they're often inaccessible or too expensive.
There's also the barrier of not having places that actually sell those type of healthier food options in a lot of communities.
In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
It's officially Fight Week. Stellar Fight 68 goes down at the Delaware State Fairgrounds this Saturday, and DSN has all the action. Here's a taste of what you can expect.
We are just about ready for the action here at Stellar Fight.
That's gonna do it.
Get those hands up, fellas.
It's a slugfest right now in the Dover building.
Oh! Yes! Oh my!
6 o'clock Saturday. That should be a great time. And let's go from the ring to the field. Sussex Tech lacrosse standout Trey Tucker is moving on after his freshman year of high school. And while the Ravens will miss Tucker, he's leaving for a good reason. The rising sophomore is headed to Florida to play at IMG Academy, a boarding school that specializes in sports. Tucker had a tremendous season last spring. He was named an All-American, plus a Henlopen North All-Conference Team honorable mention. Again, that was all just as a freshman, and that should be the start of a successful lacrosse career. Speaking of high school sports, we're just 10 days away from the start of all fall sports here on DSN, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled. That's it for sports. Have a great night, Delmarva.
We take a look outside right now. We're staying quiet with 70 degrees. We're going to stay in the low 70s to upper 60s for the rest of the night. Hit and miss spot sprinkles is what we'll call it for the most part. Our umbrella giveaway winner is Susan Miles of Salisbury. Didn't think too many people viewed us in Salisbury, but apparently they do. Courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. Now, we are keeping you updated on what's happening with the effect of Erin on our shores in this neck of the woods. Call 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead, Mandalis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at the extended forecast. Dangerous swells and rip currents expected for us Wednesday and Thursday. We have a special article that's already uploaded for us on CoastTV.com. Be sure you check out that article to get the latest on the storm surges that are likely to occur as a result of Erin.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. We'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.